Hello and welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. My name is Robin Finney. I am your Oracle, Intuitive, and Authenticity Guide. And every Wednesday I come to you live to bring you an Oracle message. So for today, I am going to pull from the Wild Unknown Archetypes Guidebook. And this Saturday is a full moon, and so I was thinking about just the essence of a full moon and what it draws in, and so I felt called to pull from this deck. Archetypes are a really great way to highlight and work with shadows in your life, those parts of ourselves that we kind of deny or dismiss or overlook sometimes, which they can actually be our greatest gifts in life. And so I like to think like the full moon illuminates everything, and so it kind of shines a light on areas of our life where we may be ready to release and let go. And so it illuminates that, and then the archetypes can come in and support us in kind of unveiling those areas. And I always like to, when you're thinking about a full moon and just the ritual of releasing, whether you do it at the time of the full moon or another time, and there's something in your life that you're just clear that it's time to let it go. Perhaps it's a habit or a behavior or a pattern, or maybe there's a relationship in your life. Sometimes it can be something bigger, a commitment you've made that no longer is in alignment with where you are. Whatever it is, and you know it's time to release, whenever you're doing these releasing practices, take time first to sit in gratitude and really look at how that pattern, that habit, that person, that job, choice, situation, whatever it is, how it served you. And really sit with it and just be grateful for it and find some ways. And even if it's something that maybe it's been uncomfortable learning and you're ready to just kind of let it go and move on, it was there to serve you. So be grateful for that and take some time for that. And so I would say, like, be in gratitude and also reflect in gratitude over all that's transpired during this cycle from like the last full moon, or you can look at it from just like over the last 30 days. And just be really find some space of gratitude, and that will really set the tone for your practice and support you in leaning in. So that's kind of my little plug today. I've got this nice little orb of light going on from the sun. So before we dive in, I want to let you know I kicked off Intro to Oracle cards this past Tuesday, and I'm so excited to step into this container again and hold space in this way. And if this is something that you were interested in and you're like, oh man, I missed it, I missed the boat, you didn't. There's still time. Just send me a message, or you can click the link in the description and you can register, and I'll send you the recording from Tuesday's session, which was more of an intro about what we're going to cover throughout the course. And so there's still time for you to dive in and learn. So I'd love to have you if you would like to join. Okay, so whether you're watching live or you're catching the replay, let's take a moment to ground in, feel yourself connected with the earth. You can shut down your eyes if that feels good. Place one hand or both hands on your heart and just take a nice deep breath there. And set an intention around this space and really what it is that you are wanting to call in, and calling in the message that will support you most during this time and this week. And then from there, choose a number, 1, 2, or 3, and that will be your message for this week. Okay, so for my number ones, your message is the mountain. Okay. And so the archetypes cover, they can be places, tools, beings, like different lights, beings, and then initiations. So this is a place, an archetypal place. So it'll just take me a moment to find it. So if you chose number 1 as yours, listen to the essence of this message and what the mountain has to say to you. The mountain is the ascent, the peak, the insurmountable. The mountain stands eternally in our awareness, calling us toward its peak. It stirs up stoic and regal feelings, reminding us of the long line of spirits, sages, sadhus, and gods that made their humble thrones within its snowy peaks. Beware, though, as the mountain can affect us in two ways. It can inspire and enliven us to rise to new heights and peak experience, yet it can also create isolation, competitiveness, and an inflated sense of self. Standing upon its heights can activate the purist and the perfectionist in us, creating separation from those we deem to be below. No matter how high you ascend, remember that it is within the core of the mountain that the gems, minerals, and jewels reside. If you think it's all about going up, you're following the fool's path and missing the miner's magic. So when light, the mountain is grounded in the eternal, steadfast, uplifting. When dark, ominous, daunting, isolating, and frigid. And there's an invitation here to read Mary Oliver's The Poet Dreams of the Mountain. Research mountains. Find one that strikes you and stare at it for a while. Where is it? The pilgrim may be awakening in you. The summit calls. And then the final prompt with the mountain is contemplate Joseph Campbell's suggestion. You are the central mountain, and the central mountain is everywhere. So for my number ones, I really love the mountain. I was just reading, one of my friends had just posted about a mountain. She was in the Alps, and I commented and I said mountains have such significance for me in my life, and I've had some amazing experiences with hikes and challenging myself to like move forward and take those steps. And every time what I get, it's like when we're hiking, we think that the goal is like getting to the top, and it's actually not. It's like the heart, this little being in the center of the mountain. It's the journey. It's all about the journey. You hear like it's not the destination, it's the journey that counts. And I can just say from experience, it's always like every time I'm on that, and we're always hiking some kind of mountain, and once we make it to the top of one mountain, another peak comes, and then another. So really take some time to sit with it and look at like where in your life are you like really holding that foundation in the heart of the mountain and exploring it from that space, and where are you just like focusing on getting to the top, and maybe in that journey you're kind of putting yourself above others and having like a better than sense. Even if that's not like what's coming out, it could be like something to look at internally, because remember, archetypes are shadows, so there may be something there for you to look at. And if that is the case, then just bless that part of you, and then look at like, oh, what is it that I'm really focused on? And then maybe it's time to realign and shift that a little, and come back to a space of being grounded and steadfast and uplifting. So, okay, so that is for my number ones. For my number twos, the Queen. So this is one of the archetypal selves. The Queen, the Empress, the Mother Queen, the Sovereign. Like her counterpart, the King, the Queen has a dualistic nature. Either she presides over the realm with grace and eloquence that comes from the heavens to uplift the spirit of others, or she falls into petty, contemptuous moods, casting a shadow across the land. If the King is the ego, the Queen is the expression of that ego in the world. She is the lotus's bloom, the dancer's bow, the moon's radiant reflection. When the Queen is seated in her rightful and righteous place, she is patient and forgiving. She waits for the grace of God and Goddess to move through her, striving and grasping for nothing. To be the benevolent leader, to embody the Queen, is to settle into deep trust, resolve, and power. The royal Queen fears nothing, for divinity itself cradles her heart. When light, the embodiment of grace, courage, resolve, stillness. When dark, vain, wrathful, self-righteous, demanding. The Queen does not accept the hand of a prince, but claims the throne, knowing the king draws near. She is a magnet for the fully embodied masculine and entertains nothing less. And then there's a prompt to read Cleopatra's monologue in Shakespeare's Antony and Cleopatra, Act 5, Scene 2. Then read about Inanna, Tara, and Hera. So if number 2 is yours, let me know and I can send you the message so you can look at those prompts further. So the Queen is a really powerful archetype because she's there. She's like on the throne. She's holding the space for everything, and people look up to her. And she has that power, that authority, and she also has that grace and servitude. And so when we're embodying the part that's light with the Queen, then we really are standing in a space of grace and courage and deep trust and resolve, like really trusting that life is taking care of us, and that no matter what you have going on, like know that when you're on your throne and you're grounded in that space and you're trusting that things are working out for you. And when you're not, when you're kind of like on the opposite side of that of the archetype, the darker side, the shadow side, then it could be a space where it's more self-righteous, like a better than again, kind of like going back to the mountain and thinking like, oh, this is like she can be holding wrath and vengeance and wanting to control. And so maybe this is an invitation to look at that in your life and see where you might be holding on to that, where you might be controlling. So the Queen is a really beautiful and powerful archetype to play with the ego. It's kind of looking at the ego and that dark and light around that. So that's for my number 2s this week. And finally, for my number 3s, the riddle. Okay. And the riddle is a tool within the archetypes. So this is something that will be useful for you in your journey with where you are right now for my number 3s. The riddle, the puzzle, the question, the mystery. When the riddle is present, one must stop searching for the right answer. It cannot be found, and ultimately it is not important. Rather, there must be a shift from the literal to the metaphorical, from logic to mythic. You are thinking too small and literally about the situation. The riddle card appears when the energy is deep and mysterious, like the elusive wisdom in a Zen cone. Focusing harder won't do it. Neither will increased effort. Time, surrender, and humor are your only allies. What feels like the most pressing dilemma won't reveal its deeper wisdom for a long time. Eventually, you'll learn a profound lesson from the riddle. For now, get comfortable with the limitations of your intellect and the reality of not knowing. It may, in fact, be the only reality there is. When light, a great awakening or an aha moment. When dark, manipulation, deceit, trickery. And to go deeper, it invites you to practice the Buddhist I don't know mind. Ponder these koans. The coin that's lost in the river is found in the river. If you meet the Buddha, kill the Buddha. Who am I? The only way to work with a riddle successfully is not to work. So the riddle has some playful energy with it for my number 3s. So this could be an area of life where maybe you're taking things too seriously, too literally, like people are telling you things or you're thinking about a situation in your life and you're just focusing on the logistics around it or figuring out rather than being in a space of trust and play and kind of allowing it to evolve as it's meant to. So the riddle kind of looks like we can be searching, like seeking for answers. So really take a moment to sit with like where in your life are you searching? Where are you just needing to know the answer? Perhaps maybe there's a lot of unknowns in your life right now and you just want to know. You just want to see what that next step is, and you'll do everything you need to know to find it. Or there's there's something you're interested in, an opportunity or a person, and you just have to know. Or you stop talking to somebody and it's like, I have to know why. Maybe there's a reason that this is showing up, and it's asking you to take a pause and take a step back and be in a space of surrender and trust around that. and also invite some play and not take everything too seriously or too literally. So that is for my number threes. I'd love to hear in the comments how all of these messages resonate with you for this week. They're all really beautiful and powerful to spend some time with, especially as we have the full moon coming up. I invite you to take some time to reflect and journal about them, and just really sit with to come, and where you can just be in stillness more and be in that space of trust and surrender, because that's a common theme for all of them. So that is Wisdom Wednesday this week. Thank you for tuning in. I'd love to hear how everything resonates for you. And I hope you have a great week, and I'll catch you again next week. Have a great rest of your day and rest of your week.